Before we begin tonight's episode of Data and Dissonance, understand that this show includes opinion, commentary, personal reflection, political frustration, emotional honesty, and the occasional hard truth that may hit closer to home than expected. Tonight's episode is a little different. This is not just about headlines, politicians, media spin, or the daily circus of outrage that usually fills the feed. Tonight is about life behind the microphone. It is about grief, family, disappointment, depression, pressure, and what happens when the person who usually shows up to talk through the noise has to admit that sometimes the noise gets heavy too. This episode is not medical advice, therapy, or a substitute for talking to someone who can help if you are struggling. But it is a reminder that you are not weak for having hard days, and you are not finished just because you missed a step. This is Data and Dissonance, where we speak truth, stir thought, and sometimes tell the truth even when the truth is uncomfortable.
I didn't do a show Friday. I didn't do one Monday either. And I could sit here tonight and try to dress that up, spin it, make it sound strategic, or pretend there was some big production reason behind it. But the truth is a lot simpler than that. Depression and disappointment got heavy. That's the honest answer. I've been trying to keep this thing going, trying to build Data and Dissonance, trying to push the books, the music, the message, the brand, the dream, the whole damn machine. And sometimes it feels like you are throwing everything you have into the world and the world just shrugs. You post, you record, you edit, you promote, you ask for sponsors. You try to get people to listen, you try to create something meaningful. And then there are days where the silence feels louder than the show ever could. And Friday, that silence got to me. Then Monday came, but Monday wasn't just another missed episode. Monday was Memorial Day. And on Sunday, Theresa and I drove to South Dakota, where her mom and dad are buried, because that was something she needed to do. That was something her heart needed. That was not content. That was not a branding opportunity. That was not some little side errand. That was family. That was grief. That was love. That was standing near the resting place of people who mattered to her, and letting the world slow down long enough to remember that not everything important happens on a microphone. Sometimes the most important thing you do is shut the laptop, stop chasing the algorithm, get in the vehicle, and be there for the person sitting next to you. So tonight, I'm not coming back with fireworks. I'm not coming back pretending everything is fixed. I'm not coming back with some fake influencer speech about grinding harder, waking up at 4 a.m., drinking raw eggs, and yelling at a mirror like a motivational speaker who leases his Lamborghini for Instagram. I'm coming back as a man who missed a couple of shows, felt like crap about it, took a hard trip with his wife on Memorial Day weekend, and realized that maybe the episode was not supposed to be about what I missed. Maybe the episode was supposed to be about why I'm still here. There is a weird guilt that comes with trying to build something from nothing. People who have never done it do not understand it. They think you just record a podcast, upload it, and move on with your life. They think you write a book, release a song, post a link, and then success either magically appears or it does not. But when it is your name, your voice, your work, your money, your time, your hope, and your family's future tied up in it, it does not feel casual. It feels personal. Every missed episode feels like failure. Every low number feels like rejection. Every sponsor that does not respond feels like another door closing. Every person who says they support you but never shares, never listens, never clicks, never helps move the ball forward, that stuff piles up. And you try not to let it bother you because you do not want to sound bitter, but if we are being honest tonight, sometimes it does bother you. Sometimes it hits harder than you want to admit. And that is where I was Friday. I was tired. Not just physically tired, but that deeper tired where you start questioning whether any of this matters. The kind of tired where you look at the work you have done and instead of feeling proud, all you can see is what has not happened yet. The sponsor that did not come through. The audience that has not grown fast enough. The merch store that costs money to keep alive. The music that you hope people hear. The books that you hope people read. The podcast that you hope somebody actually gives a damn about. And the dangerous part of that mindset is that it starts lying to you. It tells you that slow progress means no progress. It tells you that silence means nobody cares. It tells you that missing one day means you are losing the whole thing. And when you are already carrying depression, disappointment, stress, money pressure, and life pressure, those lies start sounding convincing. But then life has a way of cutting through the noise. Sunday, Theresa and I drove to South Dakota so she could visit where her mom and dad are buried. And let me tell you something. When you are on a drive like that, the podcast schedule feels different. The analytics feel different. The arguments online feel different. The same people screaming on Facebook, the same cable news circus, the same political hacks pretending they are saving America one talking point at a time. All of that suddenly feels smaller when you are dealing with real grief, real memory, real family, and the real weight people carry quietly. That trip was not about me. It was about Theresa. It was about her needing to be there. And sometimes being a husband means understanding that your job is not to fix the pain, not to give a speech, not to turn it into a lesson, but just to show up and be present. That is something we do not talk about enough in this country anymore. We talk about productivity. We talk about hustle. We talk about winning. We talk about owning the other side. We talk about who is up, who is down, who is trending, who got canceled, who got exposed, who got destroyed in the comments. But we do not talk enough about showing up for your wife, showing up for your family, showing up at a graveside, showing up when someone you love needs to remember people they lost, showing up when the person beside you is carrying something heavy and does not need a lecture, a debate, or a motivational quote. They just need you there. And that is what Sunday was, and then Monday was Memorial Day. And Memorial Day already has a weight to it. It is not just the unofficial start of summer. It is not just grilling, discounts, flags on paper plates, and people acting like a 3-day weekend is the whole point. Memorial Day is supposed to stop us for a second. It is supposed to remind us that some people did not come home. Some families have empty chairs because someone wore the uniform and paid the highest price. And when you combine that national weight with a personal trip to visit family graves, it hits different. You start thinking about legacy. You start thinking about sacrifice. You start thinking about the people who came before you, the people you love now, and what you are actually trying to build while you still have time. And maybe that is why I needed to miss the show. I do not say that as an excuse. I say that because maybe forcing a fake episode would have been worse than telling the truth tonight. Maybe getting on here Monday and pretending I was fired up about headlines would have been dishonest when my heart and mind were somewhere else. And if this show is supposed to be about truth, then the truth is this. I was down. I was disappointed. I was tired. And my wife needed to go to South Dakota to visit her mom and dad's grave. That mattered more than staying on schedule. That mattered more than pretending. That mattered more than feeding the machine. Now, that does not mean the mission stops. That does not mean I get to disappear forever. That does not mean I let depression win, let disappointment drive, and let silence take over the room. It just means I had to remember that missing a step is not the same thing as quitting. Missing a show is not the same thing as failing. Taking care of your family is not weakness. Being honest about depression is not weakness. Admitting disappointment is not weakness. The weakness would be pretending none of it happened, putting on some fake tough guy mask, and acting like the only acceptable version of a man is one who never gets tired, never hurts, never doubts, and never needs a minute to breathe. And I know I am not the only one who feels this. I know there are people listening who have missed something too. Maybe you missed work. Maybe you missed a goal. Maybe you missed a call you should have made. Maybe you missed the gym, the appointment, the deadline, the family event, the church service, the chance to say something when you should have said it. And then the guilt starts eating at you. It whispers, "See, you always mess it up." But that voice is not truth. That voice is the enemy of momentum. The truth is, you are still here. You still have a next step. You still have a next day. You still have a chance to pick the thing back up and keep moving. That is what this episode is. It is not me coming back polished. It is not me pretending the weekend did not happen. It is me picking the microphone back up and saying, I'm still here. Maybe not at full strength. Maybe not with all the answers. Maybe not with the numbers I want, the sponsors I need, the reach I hoped for, or the energy I wish I had, but still here. And there is power in that. There is power in being able to say, I bent, but I did not break. There is power in saying, I got knocked down mentally, but I'm not staying there. There is power in saying, I missed Friday, I missed Monday, but Tuesday I came back. And I think that matters because we live in a culture that only wants the victory photo. Nobody wants to see the ugly middle. Nobody wants to see the guy sitting there wondering if he should keep going. Nobody wants to see the creator staring at the screen, wondering why the work is not landing. Nobody wants to see the husband quietly driving across state lines because his wife needs to stand near her parents' grave. Nobody wants to see the tired face behind the content. But that is real life. Real life is not always a clean episode schedule. Real life is not always a perfect launch. Real life is not always one motivational montage after another. Sometimes real life is depression on Friday, a long drive on Sunday, Memorial Day on Monday, and a microphone waiting for you on Tuesday. And here is where I have to remind myself of something. The mission of Data and Dissonance was never supposed to be about perfection. It was supposed to be about telling the truth in a world that keeps selling polished lies. It was supposed to be about cutting through noise. It was supposed to be about real people, real pressure, real questions, real frustration, and real hope. So maybe tonight fits the mission better than I first thought. Because what is more dissonant than trying to speak truth while wrestling with your own doubt? What is more real than admitting that the guy behind the mic gets tired too? What is more honest than saying, I believe in this thing, but some days I wonder if it believes back? That is the part that hurts when you are building something. You can believe in the mission and still feel discouraged. You can know you are doing something meaningful and still wonder if anyone notices. You can love the work and still hate the grind. You can be proud of what you have created and still feel crushed by how far you still have to go. Those things can exist at the same time. That is the dissonance. That is the space where most people quit. Not because they do not care, but because they care so much that the lack of visible progress starts feeling personal. But tonight, I am choosing not to quit. I am choosing to come back imperfectly. I am choosing to say the quiet part out loud. I am choosing to honor the weekend for what it was. Friday was heavy. Sunday was family. Monday was Memorial Day. Tuesday is the restart, and maybe that is the message somebody else needs too. You do not have to restart loud. You do not have to restart with some grand announcement. You do not have to restart with everything fixed. Sometimes restarting just means doing the next right thing while your hands are still shaking a little. And for the people who do show up, who listen, who share, who send a message, who tell me to keep going, I need to say thank you. Because sometimes you may not realize how much that matters. When somebody is building something from the ground up, encouragement is not small. A share is not small. A comment is not small. A message saying, I heard that episode, is not small. Those things are fuel when the tank is low. And lately, yeah, the tank has been low, but it is not empty. Not yet, not tonight. So no, this is not a normal episode. We are not diving into a big political breakdown tonight. We are not roasting cable news for 20 minutes, even though Lord knows CNN probably did something stupid while I was recording this. We are not doing the usual circus. Tonight is the reset. Tonight is me looking into the mic and saying that depression got loud, disappointment got heavy, life got real, and I still came back. That is the win. Not because I feel amazing, not because everything is suddenly solved, but because I did not let the silence become permanent.
Tonight's episode is a reminder that independent voices do not run on corporate money, network backing, or some giant media machine hiding behind the curtain. Data and Dissonance is built by one man trying to keep the microphone alive, tell the truth, create something meaningful, and keep pushing even when the road gets heavy. So if this show has made you laugh, made you think, helped you push back, or made you feel a little less alone in the noise, this is the time to support it. Follow the show, share the episode, send it to someone who needs to hear it, check out the books, stream the music, visit the links, and help keep independent commentary alive. Every listen matters. Every share matters. Every person who says, keep going, matters more than you know.
I want to end tonight by saying something plain. I am not embarrassed that I missed Friday and Monday. I was at first. I felt guilty. I felt like I had let the show down, let myself down, maybe let the people who listen down. But after sitting with it, I do not think that is the right way to look at it. Friday was a hard mental day. Sunday was a family day. Monday was Memorial Day. And sometimes life does not ask permission before it interrupts the schedule. Sometimes life steps in and says, you are going to deal with what matters right now. And for Theresa, that meant going to South Dakota where her mom and dad are buried. For me, that meant being beside her. That is not failure. That is marriage. That is love. That is what you do. And maybe that is the reminder I needed. The show matters. The dream matters. The books matter. The music matters. The message matters. But the people we love matter more than the machine we are trying to build. If I ever get that backward, then I have lost the plot. Because what good is building a platform if you are not there for your own family? What good is speaking about truth if you are lying about your own pain? What good is talking about patriotism, sacrifice, memory, and values if you cannot stop long enough on Memorial Day weekend to be present with the person you love while she remembers the people she lost? So tonight, I am giving myself permission to be human. And maybe you need to give yourself that same permission too. You can be strong and still be tired. You can be faithful to the mission and still need a reset. You can love your country and still feel worn down by what it has become. You can love your family and still feel like you are not doing enough. You can be disappointed and still not be defeated. Those are not contradictions. That is life. That is the fight most people never see. The comeback does not always look like a victory parade. Sometimes it looks like a tired man sitting behind a microphone saying, "I missed a couple days, but I'm back." Sometimes it looks like taking the next breath. Sometimes it looks like driving across state lines for someone you love. Sometimes it looks like standing quietly in a cemetery. Sometimes it looks like admitting that the depression got heavy, but did not get the final word. And that is where I am tonight. Not magically healed, not suddenly rich, not suddenly sponsored, not suddenly on top of the world, just back, still breathing, still building, still speaking. So to everybody out there who has missed a step, lost momentum, felt disappointed, felt forgotten, felt like the work was not paying off, or felt like the silence was starting to win, do not make a missed day your identity. Do not let a hard weekend become a full surrender. Do not confuse being tired with being finished. Rest if you need to. Grieve if you need to. Take the drive if someone you love needs you. But when you can, come back. Pick up the tool. Pick up the pen. Pick up the microphone. Take the next step. I missed Friday. I missed Monday. But I am here Tuesday. This is Data and Dissonance. And as always, remember to speak truth. Stir thought.
Tonight's episode of Data and Dissonance is brought to you by the work behind the voice. The stories, the songs, the books, and the mission that keep this whole thing moving, even when the road gets heavy. If tonight's episode hit you a little different, then you already understand what this platform is really about. It is not just politics. It is not just headlines. It is not just commentary. It is about fighting through the noise, carrying the weight, telling the truth, and still finding a reason to stand back up when life tries to knock the air out of you. And so if you want to support the show, start with the Caleb Rourke Thriller series. Hard-hitting, fast-moving, conspiracy-driven fiction for people who like their stories with pressure, danger, loyalty, and a little too much truth hiding between the lines. Check out The Covenant Protocol. Dive into the world of Caleb Rourke and follow the series as it keeps growing darker, deeper, and more dangerous with every book. And do not forget the music. From country and patriotic anthems to grunge, rock, and songs built from the same grit that fuels this show, every track is another piece of the bigger mission: storytelling, survival, faith, frustration, and refusing to quit. Stream the music, share it, add it to your playlists, and help independent work break through an industry that does not exactly hand out invitations to guys building from the ground up. You can also support Data and Dissonance by following the podcast on Spotify, subscribing on YouTube, sharing the episodes, sending the links to friends, and helping this independent voice reach people who are tired of polished lies, corporate spin, and fake outrage from people who have never had to build anything without a safety net. This show is brought to you by the books, the music, the mission, and every person who still believes independent voices matter.